When I followed the sound of the beeping heart monitor that night, I thought I was just fixing a faulty machine. I had no idea I was walking into a room that wasn't even supposed to exist. I worked the overnight maintenance shift at a mid-sized hospital in northern Pennsylvania. You know the hours I'm talking about, when everything is too still, too sterile. The kind of silence that makes you notice every single hum, every flicker of light. I've been on this job for 7 years, and you really get to know the hospital's personality. You learn which pipes moan, which floor tiles squeak, which lights buzz right before they burn out. But that night felt different from the very start. It was around 2:30 in the morning when my pager went off. It wasn't a normal maintenance request, just a short, repetitive beep, almost like an old monitor alarm. The message on the screen was simple: Room 413 equipment failure. I remember frowning at it. The 400-level rooms were on the 4th floor, long-term care. I'd been up there dozens of times, but I couldn't for the life of me remember a room 413. Still, a job's a job. I grabbed my tool bag and headed for the elevator. The ride up felt unusually long, almost like it was pausing between floors. The light overhead flickered once, and the hum of the motor nearly died out before starting up again. When the doors finally opened, I was met with that peculiar stillness hospitals get late at night, the kind that makes you instinctively lower your voice, even when you're completely alone. The 4th floor was dim, lit only by the faint yellow glow of the emergency lights. The air smelled of antiseptic and something older, like dust or forgotten wallpaper. And as soon as I stepped out, I heard that faint, steady beep, beep, beep of a heart monitor. It was coming from down the hallway. I started walking, following the sound and counting the room numbers as I passed. 409, 410, 411, 412. And then, just beyond that, there it was. 413. The door was slightly ajar, the light inside flickering weakly. My stomach tightened. The paint on the doorframe looked older than the others, yellowed and cracked, and the little metal room number plate looked like it had been scrubbed one too many times. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The room was freezing. I could actually see my breath fogging up in front of me. The single overhead light flickered like a dying candle, and the smell hit me immediately disinfectant, layered over mildew, and something sickly sweet underneath. There was a bed in the center of the room. A man lay in it. He was thin, so frail-looking, with gray skin stretched too tight over his bones. Electrodes were stuck to his chest, and the monitor beside him was the source of the beeping, a steady, but faintly distorted sound like a bad radio signal. Then he turned his head toward me. For a second, I thought I'd imagined it. But then his eyes opened sunken and yellowed, and they fixed right on me. "You took long enough," he rasped. His voice was dry, almost brittle. I completely froze. "Sir, I'm just maintenance. Do you need a nurse?" He gave a faint, chilling smile. "No, I just needed someone to fix it." He gestured weakly at the monitor. "It keeps going off. Keeps waking me up." My skin prickled. I stepped closer to check the machine, just to have something normal to focus on. But this monitor, it wasn't one I recognized. It looked old, at least 20 or 30 years outdated. It had analog dials, a cracked casing, and a faint glow coming from inside the tube display. I pretended to adjust a knob, mostly to fill the silence. "All right, sir, I'll take a look." The beeping grew louder, slower. When I turned back to the man, he was staring straight at me, eyes wide open, pupils dilated. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "They closed this room." I swallowed hard. "What do you mean, closed?" He blinked slowly, like the question didn't make any sense. "After the fire." And just like that, the monitor flatlined. A long, continuous tone filled the room, and the light overhead flickered violently. I spun around, heart pounding in my chest, and when I turned back, the bed was empty. The sheets lay flat, perfectly tucked. The monitor was dark. Every sound had stopped. I stumbled back, hitting the wall. My flashlight fell from my hand and rolled under the bed. As I bent down to grab it, I saw something scratched into the tile beneath the bed frame. It said, "Don't let them close it again." That was it for me. I bolted. I ran out of that room, down the hall, and didn't stop until I slammed the button for the elevator. As the doors closed, I realized I could still hear it, that faint beeping, coming from somewhere deep behind the walls. When I got back to the main office, I went straight to the floor plans to file the report. I needed to note which room I'd been in. But when I pulled up the schematics, my stomach dropped. The fourth floor ended at room 412. There was number 413. Not on the map, not in the digital logs, not on any blueprint. The last time the hospital had been renovated was in 1989. I showed my supervisor the next morning. He just stared at me for a long time and told me quietly, "Don't talk about that room." He explained that back in '89, before the renovations, there had been a room 413. A patient had died in there during a small electrical fire caused by faulty equipment, a heart monitor that wouldn't shut off. They sealed the room after that and rebuilt the wing around it. The patient's name? Walter Hughes. I never told him that the old man in the bed had a name tag clipped to his gown. It read, Hughes W., and every so often, when I walk the fourth floor late at night, I can still hear it faintly through the walls. Beep, beep, beep. Thanks for listening to my story. If you liked this video, please hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.